Ahoy there, trader! Are you ready to find stocks before they move? Of course, not just any stocks. Explosive stocks that are on a rocket ship to the moon. Okay, too much. How about this? This is exactly how you find an almost unlimited number of stocks and that are ready to move before they start moving. And you can do this in under 10 to 20 minutes. So if you're ready, let's do this. So finding stocks before they move. Most traders have not yet found their swing trading mojo face this problem. They buy the rally when they should be buying the dip. They always seem to find amazing stocks that have been parabolic, but they only find them after the best part of the move is over. You know, they're a bag holder. They buy the rally when they should be buying the dip. And all the textbooks from the supposedly best traders and investors in history don't help that much at all. Because often they only show you an idealized pattern or a setup after it happens. And rarely do they show you the money-making patterns before the move develops. So that even the greenest of traders can spot a good setup even if it's your first day. Well, my trading friend, this will change for you today. In a moment, I'm going to show you exactly how to find great stocks perfect for swing trading before they move. So are you ready? Let's do this. Now, before I tell you exactly how to find stocks before they move, and in case you've never heard of me before, here's a quick 30-second introduction. My name's Phil Newton. I've coached thousands of students with my programs all around the world, and I've personally mentored 756 traders, a number which continually goes up every week, from retail traders through to hedge fund owners, banks, and institutions. These days, I love a good read with a coffee, and I can usually be found in one of my local coffee shops because I'm not a Wall Street guru. I'm just a regular guy who's found success, and I want to help you see your success. So from here on out, I'm going to be your personal swing trading mentor, and every week I give you a no BS insider info on how to profit from swing trading stocks and create wealth and generally live your best life. Because I've cracked the code. It's easy to follow and profitable. And as Steve says there on the right there, it's extremely accurate and profitable because it's simple to replicate and it just gets results. And you can hear this straight from my past students who are consistently seeing amazing results using production line trading. Just like famed author, investor, and entrepreneur Anik Singhal, who says, I rarely pitch anyone or promote things, but I do want to hear because he is that good. Just like Joe Fear, a renowned podcaster, investor, and entrepreneur, who says there's no need to get fancy. I follow Phil's guidance and use my best judgments based on my circumstances, and it makes trading more of a straight line approach and very methodical. And just like Steve, a famed local professional musician, who says Phil has a way of explaining things that make you realize that it's not beyond you. It's a system with proven results. This is something anyone can do, plus it's great fun. And it's not an isolated incident because my students get results. It gives me and them time freedom and financial freedom. So let's find stocks before they move. Production line trading is the smartest way to trade stocks. It's also the fastest way to get results. It includes 3 main steps. The first step is mechanical scan, which is a replicatable process to find, filter, and sort the best stocks now. And this means that I don't have to flick through chart after chart after chart like a zombie every time trying to figure out if the next one is the one. Just zero in on the best stocks right now. Then we want to visually confirm them. Does it match one of my 6 moneymaker blueprints? And then we want to go and place the trade and manage the trade to its natural conclusion, the profitable trade framework, the TTE management, timeout, target out, exit out planning. We account for all the eventualities, which means that it is a repeatable process because it gets results just like this for me and my students every single time. Now, out of this production line trading process, to help us find stocks before they move, we're going to focus on the mechanical scan, a replicatable process. So here's what we're looking for right now. There are 4 steps to this particular blueprint. This is one of 6 money-making blueprints that I use. And we're going to find a classic buy the dip. So I'm looking for the average prices to have been crossed over. That's the 50 period has crossed above the 200 period. We then want to see that we've been in that trending state for 40 days, and this helps us filter out some of the false alerts and the false starts. We then want to look for, has the stock been up in the last 60 days? And lastly, the fourth step is we want to find it retracing. We want to buy that stock at a discount. So we're looking for it to be moving down in the context of an uptrend. So we can look for one of two things. The first one is it being down 10% in 10 days, or below the 20 period or the 50 period moving average. We can have one, the other, or both. So let's hop over to the charts and see what that looks like. Okay, so now we're looking at the chart. We're looking for four things: our average price to be crossed over, in trend for 40 days minimum. That helps us to avoid those whipsaws. We want to know that price is moving up in the last 60 days. And what we're aiming for is, I'm going to mark them off all as fours. We're looking for price to be in the yellow boxes. We're looking for a retracement in the context of an uptrend. So steps 1, 2, and 3 help us find the trend. And number 4, the yellow boxes, is are we retracing in the context of a trend? And I can do all of this over here on the left on the watch list. So we need to know what it looks like on the right. We've got our one of our 6 moneymaker blueprints on the right. But on the left is where I'm doing all the work. So that's where we're doing all the work. So we've got number 1 there is telling me that we've got a bullish box. And that tells me that the average prices are crossed up. The number to the left of that box is 195, and it's telling me that we have 195 days in trend. This next box here, so that's number 2, number 3, the next box that I'm marking off or just circling says 6.2. So it's telling me that in the last 60 days we're up 6.2%. It doesn't have to be a big number. We just want to know, is the stock moving in the right direction over the last 60 days? Because if it's not, then it's probably not trending up. And then number 4 is, are we retracing? Now, this box here tells me that we're down 3.4% in the last 10 days. Not a deal breaker, but we do have this red, red, blue. So this is telling me where price is in relation to the moving averages. So from left to right, it's the left red box says where's price in relation to the 20 period. The middle red box tells me where price is in relation to the 50 period moving average. And the right box is telling me it's blue, so it's above the 200 period moving average. So 20, 50, 200. Red, red, blue. So it's below the 20, below the 50, but above the 200. Well, that's exactly what we want. It looks like one of these areas in the yellow boxes. It's trending and it's retracing below the 20 and or the 50 period moving average. So what I'm able to do, if I just clear the chart, is if I cast my eyes down, I can find these opportunities, these buy the dip opportunities, without ever looking at the chart. I can just go, oh, there's a new one for today. Let's go and look at it. Now that I'm looking at the chart, so step number 2 of what we do in our production line. So step number 1, the mechanical scan, find 2 or 3 stocks that make the most sense to look at today. And then step number 2 of our production line is we need to visually confirm. Average price crossed over there. It's been in a trend for 195 days, so it's at least 40. Now we're looking at the chart. Visually, we can see, yeah, it's going up. That's exactly what we're looking for. That's what a trending stock looks like. And we can also see that it's moving down, retracing in the context of an uptrend. It's below the 20 period and just going below the 50 period moving average as I'm recording this. So at the close of business today, that will fire off a below the 50 period moving average alert. So this gives me my opportunity to buy the dip. So I know now, before the stock has turned around, before it moves upwards, that this is a candidate. This is now on my shortlist. I'm going to check into this every day, and I can basically say, you know, when price goes back above the the 20 or the 50 period moving average, depending on how it meets the criteria. We'd work that out on the step number 3 of our production line. It's a little bit beyond what we've got today, but we are finding a stock before it turns around. And you can see the times where prices come back below the 20 or the 50 period moving average and then rallied higher. That's exactly what we're looking for. So we find opportunities before they move every single time. And as we cast our eyes down at the bottom of the list here, we can see the AA, Alcoa. It is average price crossed over. It's in a trend for 197 days. It's above the 200. It's above the 50, but it's below the 20 period moving average. That's what those boxes are saying. And it's almost down 10% in 10 days, down 7.3%. So let's go and click on that. I can do all of that work, that heavy lifting, in the watch list on the left. So I don't have to look at every chart every day, all of the time. Average price crossed over. It's in a trend for at least 40 days. Visually, now I'm looking at the chart. It is going up. That means that any downward movement is a buying opportunity. The first one was right there. The second one was right there. There's a third one there. And there's a fourth one right now. So we're finding stocks before they move every single time. And we don't have to waste any time flicking through every chart every day, all of the time. I just need to zero in on which are the 2 or 3 stocks today that make the most sense. And then I can work out in step number 3 of my production line where my entries, exits, stops and targets are ahead of time, because we've got a checklist that helps us work these things out before the trade goes live. So I know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and why I'm doing it before it even turns around and starts moving higher. So if it doesn't move higher, it's no big surprise. But when it does, if it does, I know my entries, my exits, my stops, my targets before the trade goes on, before it puts the move in, because that's what we need to know as traders. We need to be proactive to buy the dip instead of reacting and being the bag holder by buying the damn rally. It's a silly thing to do. At no point in history has anyone made money buying rallies. We want to buy the dip. That's what all the professional traders do. And this is what it looks like. And what we have just seen is we applied our mechanical scan, which is a replicatable process to find, filter and sort the best stocks right now. This is one of my 6 money-making blueprints. We looked for the average price to cross over. We looked for 40 days in trend minimum. And then we looked for it's up X% in the last 60 days. We then wanted to buy the dip. So the dip is defined as at least 10% in 10 days or below the 20 or below the 50 period moving average. It can be one, the other, or both. And that's essentially what we do. We've got a very simple yet defined process to find the best opportunity to buy the dip when a stock is trending, specifically strongly trending. So this is one of my 6 money making blueprints. It means that I don't have to flick through chart after chart after chart figuring out, is this going to be the one? As you saw, we can zero in on the best stocks in the watch list on the left, so that I only need to look at the best 2 or 3 stocks today, and then go and do something else that's more interesting with the rest of my day. And this means that we can find stocks before they move every single time. So maybe this has been the missing ingredient for you, and if it has, then that's awesome. However, if you do need some extra help with a complete production line trading system, then just know that it is available to you now. So do you want some personal help? Do you want to learn how to swing trade stocks in the smartest possible way? Production line trading includes of 3 steps. Mechanical scan, as we've seen just a moment ago. We have a visual confirmation. We've got 6 money-making blueprints. And then we want to know where our entries, exits, stops, and targets are. So if I invited you to an all-inclusive mentorship program that you can learn the systems that I have outlined here in under 7 days, and when you get used to them, it usually takes 10 to 20 minutes each day. You'll focus on the best stocks and the best patterns to trade with proven data-driven results and real results. You'll learn my TTE trade management system, which is the real secret to success. My average return on capital is 85.76%. I use stock options to achieve that. Now, once you've mastered it, you can spend as little as 20 minutes a day, increasing your results over the next 90 days. If you've got a little bit of extra time, you can spend a little bit of extra time doing it. I'm not saying you can't, but I prefer to spend as little time as possible, and you can do it in 10 to 20 minutes each day. My promise to everyone is that you will never be zombie trading. You won't be spending hours flicking through chart after chart after chart, as you've literally just seen. You zero in on the most important stocks today, so that you don't have to do that. You'll never stress over which way the market's going, up or down. In fact, you'll get confidence by profiting in both directions. There'll be no more boring company reports. You won't have to read them to try and divine value. And in fact, you'll profit from swing trades, which typically last from 20 to 30 days, and potentially up to about 90 days is typically how long these setups last in any market condition. So if I invited you, do you want to be next? If you'd like to learn a little bit more about it, you can very simply go to productionlinetrading.com. That's productionlinetrading.com. That's all one word. And that will take you to a page with some further information, some further details, so that you can make a more informed decision as to whether this is right for you. And if it is, I'll see you on the other side.